welcome.
Good evening, good afternoon.
My name is Alex and it's time to take a look at the Gameweek number 26 and prepare for a quick turnaround because the Gameweek 27 starts on Tuesday and you got to make your transfers. I already made my moves, I shared them on my Twitter account, and I think that this game week without the manager, assistant manager chip, obviously my decision to bench Trent backfired and I didn't captain Salah, so I went with Mbuma, which is something that I announced in my video. This is how punishing it is to go against template. I think even if you were like just perma-captain in Salah, you just probably can forget about like that decision at the end of the deadline. Just set captaincy on Salah. He's gonna be delivering you the points every week. Yes, you can try doing something different, but you'll be mostly punished, especially the way the season is going, by choosing a different captain. I wanted to go in Mbuma. He played easier position, scored exactly the same amount of points as Salah did, and of course, just because many people had Arne Slot or even Glasner chip, they probably got a little bit points on top of that. And obviously some people had Munoz, Mateta, some other players that I didn't have in my team. And that's another red arrow. That's unfortunate. It was kind of against our will. We kept our assistant manager chip just because I think that now the doubles for Newcastle and the way they dismantled that Wolves team, that Nottingham Forest team, although at the end it was kind of shaky. Scoring 4 goals, that's nice. And I think that maybe they're not going to be keeping clean sheets, but keeping Isak and maybe adding on to that is a nice idea. And for me, it would be a third player or third asset from Newcastle. It's going to be assistant manager Eddie Howe chip. So let me know how your weeks went. I mean, it's time to pick a team for the game week number 27. So let's start with the so-called best defense in the league. They conceded the least amount of XG and still the returns on the goalkeeper and defenders are pretty sad. I tripled up on Arsenal defense once, I did it twice, both times were punished, rightfully so, just because they concede like one chance a game and that eventually goes in. So maybe a poor goalkeeping, maybe poor defending, you tell me. I was watching that game and I expected, and all the bookies expected as well, a comfortable win for Arsenal, albeit for attacking struggles and injuries. I thought that maybe this team can create something, but there are some youngsters that can't keep their cool and they deleted themselves from the game, and then eventually Arsenal played with 10 men, like remaining 30 minutes after conceding a goal, which is understandable. Like Arsenal they like to bottle their titles like this, but for me, like, I'm playing fantasy. I don't care about how Arsenal is going to be performing. I want to get as many points as possible. So this was very bad outcome for me, just because I relied on that, since many people have picked Pickford and Pickford didn't pick up any points. So I expect Riot to concede again, and that's why I start Wood, but I don't have a better goalkeeper. Making goalkeeping transfer is not on my agenda. Same goes for Gabriel. Yeah, I think it feels like they forgot how to score from corners and Gabriel is not scoring goals anymore. And it shows as well, his returns have dwindled and barely he gets any clean sheets, and obviously bonus points are also not on the agenda for him as well either. Then we have Trent Alexander-Arnold. Like, he is still very, like, his performances after that Manchester United game when they drew 2-2. Like, I brought him in for that exact game and I expected them to absolutely smoke Man United team, because under Amorim, like, you've seen these performances, they are not really inspiring. But he conceded 2 goals and he was at fault for at least one. And again, his performance against City wasn't really that impressive. But they kept a clean sheet. In the most difficult fixture out of all possible fixtures, he kept a clean sheet, and that is, I don't know, man. Sometimes Fantasy Premier League and Premier League in general is so unpredictable, so there's nothing I can do. But I'm starting him against Newcastle because historically, Trent has been delivering against Newcastle. He can provide a cross or assist, or maybe take a shot. So I think for him to start against Newcastle, I fully expect them to concede, but I don't have a better defender to field instead. And then we have Kirkus, which I think is going to be a toss of a coin for me, because I have Robinson on my bench, as you can see. But I think Kirkus is still starting, maybe because I believe that Fulham are a little bit going through a turbulent patch. I don't know. How can you concede 2 goals to Crystal Palace at home and not score a single one? Where are the returns, man? And then we have Mbuma, who starts against Everton. I expect a lot of goals in this fixture, or at least some goals for Brentford side. Then we have Kluivert, which is going to be difficult for them to keep a clean sheet, by the way. I have Kyrgios as a defender, just because Zabarny received that red card, and they lost their previous game. Again, people just saw that bandwagon of Bournemouth players, waited for good fixtures and jump on them, and I was one of them too. And Wolves expected comfortable win again for Bournemouth, but referee had other plans and awarded Wolves W. So there is a captaincy on Salah. I feel like I still keep it on Salah, just because there is no point even experimenting. I did it once. I did it, I think, twice. Once I was punished, and the other time I was not even rewarded. So Mbuma received the same amount of points as Salah. I may decide to change it to Palmer, because Palmer is currently my vice captain. But I feel I see absolutely no benefit from that. I think I shouldn't be doing too many risky decisions. Besides, I already have a differential in my team. I'm going to be sharing that in a second. Isak is my attacker. I think the form that Liverpool are at the moment, they can easily concede a goal. And if that's a penalty or like any like a tap-in situation, Isak should be there. And then we have the first transfer and the only transfer that I made. I actually have 0 transfers in the bank, but I decided to play a little bit more aggressive and get Cunha ahead and of the curve, maybe just in time. You never know. Just because my NDA was injured and I needed a player to blank who is not blanking in 29. So I will be playing, of course, Wood, Cunha, and Isak is gonna be benched. As you can see, as it stands right now, I have only 3 players who are blanking in that game week. So I can easily even start Greaves, I can start Robinson, and I can start Nwaneri. So he plays Chelsea, which is a fantastic fixture for Arsenal. I will be very happy to play Chelsea players, play Nwaneri against Chelsea team. So for me, I think I'm fine. I should actually, if obviously unless there are some injuries, I shouldn't be making any transfers up until Game Week 30, where I'm playing a wildcard. I've decided on a wildcard. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be revamping my team a little bit. And obviously, I'm going to be setting it up for the double game weeks from Newcastle. I'm going to be playing my assistant manager chip in 31. It's going to be the aggressive part of the season where I expect to pick up my points that I lost previously, just because 200,000 rank is unacceptable. And just given that so many content creators are ahead of me, there's absolutely no selling point for me. I just decided to play it slow. Some people just played all their chips at the start. They're like ranked 5, 10,000. And obviously, it seems like they know what they're doing. It's interesting to watch their videos. But for me, I think eventually my end of the season, if I'm getting it to top 10k, that would be fantastic, because I can mark it then and then show it next season when I'm continuing, hopefully, with this channel, that I know something about the game. Because that's how it works. People usually, they don't watch channels that are performing bad, or they just switch quickly. And you have you probably noticed recently, there are certain streamers, deadline streamers, that are now beating the OGs in the live viewership. Why? Because the past few seasons, they were showing their consistent ranks. I've only been like top 27, I think my highest rank previously, top 27,000. So I think we can improve on that this season, but we need to use that assistant manager chip, and hopefully Newcastle are not going to be fallen off by that time. So I hope you enjoyed this short video. Make sure you make your transfers, play the chips that you want. I don't think that some people actually still playing the assistant manager chips, so you can still try to experiment, play it on Glasner. You can try to play it on a numerous number of teams, like, I don't know, even Nottingham Forest. They can easily beat Arsenal, but there is no bonus, of course, because Nottingham Forest, I think they are ahead of, or like they're so close to Arsenal in the table. So yeah, so many different options to go for, but I'm keeping my assistant manager chip, and hopefully it will be a big differential very soon. Hope I'm jinxing everyone except for my players. Good luck, and I'll see you next.